Welcome to this webinar, Future Memory, Rare Books and Special Collections Projects from the Asia-Oceania region. My name is Maggie Patton and I'm Head of Acquisition and Curation at the State Library of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that I am speaking from Gadigal land this afternoon, and I respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, recognising their continued connection to lands, waters, culture, and communities, and pay my respects to elders past and present. So welcome this afternoon to this very well-anticipated webinar. It's a partnership between the IFLA Regional Division Asia-Oceania, IFLA Rare Books and Special Collections, IFLA Preservation and Conservation Section, ALIA Rare Books and Special Collections, and the Bibliographical Society of Australia and New Zealand. So lots of people working together on this webinar. It's been fantastic working on a new platform with each other. So our webinar this afternoon is on future memory, challenges and opportunities for rare books and special collections from conservation, preservation and discovery angles. And it will look at projects from individual countries in the Asia-Oceania region. For printed books, newspapers, photographs, palm leaf manuscripts and paper parchments to be preserved in the diverse locales of the Asia-Oceania region, the challenges and risks posed by heat, humidity, precipitation, pests, natural disasters are a daily concern. We have a distinguished panel of speakers who will outline conservation, preservation and digitisation techniques and projects underway in their respective institutions. So with a little bit of housekeeping just to begin with, this event is being recorded, including the chat. The recording will be posted on IFLA YouTube channel and all of the microphones have been muted for this event. Questions and comments, please type in the Q&A section on Zoom, and then throughout presentations, we'll be adding special links to the chat. So if there's particular websites or details of contacts, we'll put that in the chat and we'll just reserve the Q&A for questions that you might want to pose to our experts throughout the seminar or at the end. Okay, so it's great. It looks like there's plenty of people coming on board, but we might just start. I'm going to introduce each panel member before they speak so that we can remember as we go along and know who's talking. And we're going to start. We've got three speakers today. Dr. Pion A from the National Library of Myanmar, Dr. Udaya Gabral from the National Library of Sri Lanka, and Tien So Ling from the National Library of China. And we're going to begin today with a presentation by Pion A, who embarked on her career in the National Library of Myanmar in 1993 and has over 2 decades specialised experience in the preservation and conservation of library materials, as well as playing a pivotal role in managing and providing services for the palm leaf manuscripts section, ensuring their proper care, maintenance and accessibility. Pion is currently serving as the Director of the National Library of Myanmar, and she brings 30 years of expertise and dedication to her role. So welcome, Pion, to our webinar today. And Pion's going to appear on our screens any minute now.
Good afternoon, my ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am honored to be here with you for this seminar. Today, I will be presenting on the topics of preserving rare collections, acquisition method, and challenges in Myanmar libraries. My presentation is divided into 7 key sections. as shown in these tables of contents. Our first section is the introductions. Myanmar is a nation blessed with a wealth of literary heritage. Over the century, various ethnic groups have left behind a wealth of literary work. Before printing works introduced in Myanmar, Parabite and public manuscript were the main forms of book, which are the material, including stone, pearl, and in inscriptions, clay tablet, gold, silver, white star, share, and paper. In this slide, I will discuss palm leaf manuscript, which arrived in Myanmar with Buddhists in the 1st century AD, and highlight the oldest known manuscript from 1493, preserved at the university's central libraries, detailing Myanmar arithmetics in prompts. Then I will cover about Parabite manuscript, produced from handwriting Mainkai paper and usually folded from 1 to 64 style, and Parabite, which come in black for notes and draft, and white for rare use, which some featuring color illustration called Yongzong Parabite. Next, I will present about the repository of ancient manuscript. Today, most of the manuscript and Parabite are preserved in major libraries and monasteries, which include governmental libraries like the National Library, National Archives, University Central Libraries, UCL, and other institutions, as well as various non-governmental libraries called Pirgatai, S.A. Ubodhi Pirgatai, Mahamuni Pagoda Pirgatai, Shwergong Pagoda Pirgatai, Ubuji Town Pirgatai, Shwebongwe Pirgatai, Tangkhin Tadanabai Pirgatai, Tale South Monastery, and so on. In this slide, I will outline the conservation management in Myanmar libraries, which focus on conservation, the written text, and preserving the physical medium. The National Commission for Preservation of Manuscript was established in 1994 to safeguard manuscript from monastery scattered across Myanmar. From 1994 to 2003, they inventory 50,000 public manuscript and 2,400 Parabite, and microfilms over 2,200 manuscript. In February 2017, the Preservation and Conservation Committee was established, and in August, 101 people attended PSC training with practical section at Ubuji Town, Pitagatai. In 2017, the National Library hosts a series of 2-week training programs on the policy of collecting, maintaining, and providing service of ancient literary material, held in 3 levels, and attended by personnel from various governmental libraries to gain valuable expertise. Practical activities also include cleaning, inventorying, conserving, and promoting preservation techniques to local communities who do not want to donate. Additionally, the committee conducts field conservation activities in various locations across Myanmar. In this slide, I will discuss the acquisition method, and collections. Why rare manuscripts are found in monasteries across Myanmar, with a significant portion is housed in the National Library. When the National Library lent all monastery hold rare manuscripts, we reach out to discuss donation or provide conservation support. For those wishing to retain their manuscript, for donated collection, we package and transport manuscript to the library. They are then clean checked for completeness, inventories, catalog, and proper shelves. For monastery keeping their collections, we assist with conservation share technique to prevent damage. Additionally, rare and valuable manuscripts are digitized. Since 2017, the National Library of Myanmar has actively conserved a wide range of manuscripts across the Myanmar. Between 2017 to 2020, the National Library successfully conserved approximately over 3710 pamphlet manuscript, 84 parabyte 5-stone inscription, and over 1,000 rare books across Myanmar. Additionally, the National Library has been actively organizing the preservation and conservation of manuscripts donated from various sources throughout the country. In total, the National Library has received and conserved over 11,000 pamphlet manuscripts for national heritage. This slide covers rare collections in National Library and UCL. The National Library of Myanmar holds a total of 20861 pamphlet manuscripts, while the UCL has 15126. Parabyte manuscripts are total 3008 at the National Library of Myanmar and 4064 at the UCL. Moreover, the National Library of Myanmar conserves 345 handwritten copies in Burmese and Mon language. The National Library is collaboration with the National Archive, has microfilms, 66 historical documents, 153 parabytes, and 179 Mon handwritten copies. While the UCL has preserved 2096 items of microfilm and 643 of slide. Then the National Library in Bureau offer over 70,000 e-resources. Additionally, for digitized collection, National Library Yangon has digitized over 34,000 items, and National Library Nebiro has digitized 355 texts with the help of Polytext Society in 2019. UCL has also digitized 1719 items. Besides, the National Library has preserved rare collections by publishing them into book forms. Notable publications include Pimu Minji London Diary, Tamagi Dagma Pakadani text, Yanya Hirobong Barabai. Furthermore, we have been sharing our digitized pamphlet manuscript and books on Myanmar on the ASEAN Digital Library web portal. In this slide, I want to describe the challenges faced When conserving a diverse range of manuscripts across Myanmar, firstly, lacks of air ventilation, manuscripts in monastery are often stored in closed shack and cabinets, suffer from poor air circulation, leading to unpleasant smell and deterioration. Secondly, pet investigation, isolated storage area export manuscript of damage from insect and pet. Thirdly, improper preservation material, protective material they use for manuscript often fail to meet PAC standard. Furthermore, some local communities are refused to donate their collection to the library for proper care and conservation, and distrust of conservator. During conservation visits, local keeper often mistreat and closely supervise conservator, questioning their method and resisting external help. Then local keeper often hesitate to let conservator handle rare collection due to damage concern, requiring detailed discussion and demonstration to build trust. Additionally, within Myanmar libraries, conservation efforts also face major challenges, such as limited human resource expertise, budget limitation, and inadequate technical equipment. In conclusion, preservation of rare collection in Myanmar libraries require both effective way to acquire valuable manuscript, like donation and partnership with local communities. This effort not only preserve the physical artifact, but also the story, idea, and history they embody, thereby maintaining the nation's rich cultural heritage for generations to come. Here's my references, and thank you very much for your kind attentions.
Thank you very much, Pion. That was fascinating. So much digitization of material happening despite all of those conditions. I think that's amazing. Perhaps later on when we've finished, I'd be interested to know how people actually contact you when they have materials they want you to look at. But we'll have our next speaker, and then I'll ask that question at the end. Thank you. So our next speaker is Dr. Udaya Cabral. Dr. Cabral has been the Assistant Director Conservation of the National Library of Sri Lanka since 2014 and Director of the IFLA PAC Sri Lanka Centre since 2015. He is serving as a member of the Cultural Heritage Advisory Committee of IFLA, and he has broadly studied Sri Lankan palm leaf preparation techniques, conservation and preservation methods, and good practices. He is the founder of the Banhinda resin, widely used in Sri Lanka for treating palm leaf manuscripts, and specialises in the control of bioagents in library materials and the conservation and preventative conservation of art in papers. Thank you. Welcome, Udaya.
Good afternoon. I think you can see my slide presentation.
Yes. Yes.
First of all, I would like to thank IFLA Asia Oceania Region Division for inviting me to this webinar. Especially, I would like to thank Mr. Ramanan and Mrs. Gulsin Prip, who coordinated with me for this program. Today, I will be presenting the challenges in the preservation and conservation of palm leaf manuscripts and rare books in the tropical environmental condition in Sri Lanka. So I work at the National Library of Sri Lanka, officially known as the National Library Documentation Services Board. It operates under the Ministry of Education. So it was started in 1970. It receives all the publication published in Sri Lanka. The National Library houses various types of library materials, including paper-based materials, analog materials, and digital materials. The majority of our collection consists of paper-based materials, such as books, newspaper, and magazines. We have approximately 2 million paper-based items in the library. Among our collections, the palm leaf manuscripts and rare books are very important. The conservation and preservation of most are very important of these collections because they are old over than 100 years. They are considered as cultural artifact according to the local laws. So what are the palm leaf manuscripts? So palm leaf manuscripts were used as a writing medium in many countries across South and East Asia. But the preparation process and the techniques used in Sri Lanka are unique. According to the historical records, palm leaves were used from 6th century BCE to 20th century CE until introduced the paper materials to the Sri Lanka. Palm leaf manuscripts were traditionally made from leaves of Borassus umbiliculifera. Common name is Palmyra tree, and also Corypha umbiliculifera. The common name is Tulpit palm. These mature tree leaves underwent several technical processes to convert palm leaf manuscript. These manuscripts contain traditional knowledge, especially ancient agricultural systems, ancient irrigation systems, native medicinal systems, and our ancient construction system, and so on. Many of the palm leaf manuscripts are still deposited in libraries, museums, and archives under the government. But most of the palm leaf manuscripts are stored in the temple libraries. Those temple libraries were educational centers at the ancient times. Thus, many are stored in ambient environmental conditions. Sri Lanka is a small island within area of 65,610 square kilometers. It is located just below the Indian subcontinent, near the equator. This location creates the tropical climatic condition in the country. The country receives around 5,000 millimeter rainfall throughout the year, and the average temperature ranges from 26 Celsius to 30 Celsius, and the relative humidity also 85% to 85% to 90% throughout the year. This condition accelerates the deterioration process of the palm leaf manuscripts. The chemical, physical, and biological deterioration processes stimulated by tropical climatic conditions result in the decay of palm leaf manuscript stored in ambient conditions. Among these deterioration processes, biological deterioration process play a prominent role in tropical climate. Insect pests, harmful fungi, and bacteria contribute significantly to decaying palm leaf manuscript under these conditions. Here are some insect fates found in libraries in Sri Lanka. Here are this pest called silverfish, its common name. They feed on palm leaf manuscript, paper, and paper materials as well, creating holes on the material surface. And these are bookworms. They are very dangerous pests found in libraries in the country. Both adult and larva stage feed on palm leaf manuscript, creating irregular shaped cavities and holes, which cause permanent damage to the material. And termites also very common in the country. There are two termites found in the libraries, drywood termites and the subterranean termites. Both are feed on cellulose substances on the palm leaf manuscripts. Their damage is permanent. Biological deterioration, damage to the surface of the palm leaf includes creating irregular shaped cavities, forming tiny holes on the leaf surface and causing fungi bacteria to digest the fibers of the leaf, resulting in brittleness. This can also create different color stains on the palm leaf manuscripts. This is the only recommended treatment for the insect infestation of the palm leaf manuscript. Normally, the locally we use phosphine gas to control the insect infestation of the palm leaf manuscript. Phosphine is very toxic gas for humans. So special precautions must be taken when handling it. Only the National Library has the phosphine handling facilities in the country. So when any libraries need this facility, National Library help those libraries. Since the chemical treatment facilities are very limited and pose risk to the human health, the National Library has developed a herbal resin oil called Dummala after conducting research for 2 years. It is believed that a similar oil was used in the past for protection of the palm leaf manuscript. The scientific research has confirmed that this oil has insect repellent properties and moderate insecticidal properties, fungicidal and bactericidal properties. The oil is produced by the National Library, is provided at the concessional rates for the temple libraries for the protection of the palm leaf manuscripts housed there. This is the second production made by the National Library, solar heating box for eradicating insect pest in palm leaf manuscripts. Sri Lanka receives high sunlight for 12 hours per day for the most of the year. Solar energy is utilized in this method. A normal rigiform box is converted into a thermal installation book chamber by applying black color to the outer surface of the box, except the lid area of the box. A temperature and humidity data logger is also fixed to the surface of the box to measure the environmental parameters. This is a production. This system works well on bright, sunny days. The box is kept in the courtyard for a couple of hours until the internal temperature reaches to 45 Celsius. As soon as the required temperature is reached, the infested palm leaf manuscript wrapped in black polythene sheet are placed in the box. The box is then closed in the lid and kept it courtyard for a specific time. The duration of the treatment depends on the type of the insect infested in the Ola leaf manuscripts. And normally, this system works well for silverfish in about 20 minutes and is also effective against bookworms and termite too. Repeating the treatment twice provide maximum benefits. However, this treatment should not be done regularly. National Library received a patent in 2023 for this product. There are 3 documented heritage listed in the UNESCO Memory of the World International Register. In 2023, the palm leaf manuscript of Mahavansha, a great chronicle of Sri Lanka, was inscribed on the UNESCO Memory of the World list. This inscription increased the visibility of the palm leaf collection in Sri Lanka, enhanced public attention and improve the safeguarding protocols. The National Library of Sri Lanka is engaged in the following activities to preserve palm leaf manuscripts across the country. So inventorying the palm leaf manuscript available in the temple libraries, identify the geological location of the palm leaf manuscripts, and conducting conservation and preservation treatment with trained staff, and develop infrastructure facilities, especially for the storage facilities, and working on the intellectual property rights related to the palm leaf manuscripts, and creating digital repository and provide online access for the selected palm leaf manuscript, and facilitate transcription of selected unpublished palm leaf manuscripts. So finally, I would like to say the tropical climate conditions are a big challenge for Sri Lanka in keeping palm leaf manuscript collections in good condition for a long time. The National Library has taken several measures to minimize the deterioration rate of the palm leaf manuscript in the country. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks very much, Shudaya. That was really interesting, particularly the pests and the way you've been treating them. That's fantastic. I think we might have a few questions on that later on after the other sessions. Thank you very much. Our third speaker is Tien So Ling. And Tien So Ling has worked at the National Library of China since 2005, engaging in scientific research related to ancient book preservation and conservation, and has led the document preservation and conservation group of the Ancient Book Library of the National Library of China since 2011. She's Deputy Director of Key Laboratory of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Science and Technology for Preservation and Conservation of Ancient Books, and is the expert of the International Organization for Standardization Subcommittee on Information and Document Preservation and Protection. She has presided over more than 10 scientific research projects and participated in the formulation of 6 national and industrial standards, obtaining 3 invention patents and 2 utility model patents, and developed equipment for deacidification and for removal of literature dust. So this sounds like it's going to be fascinating. Thank you very much, Tian. Waiting for the slides, I think. Here we go. Thanks, Tian.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tian Ling from National Library of China. I'm very honored to be attending today's meeting. The subjects of my presentation is collection and conservation in National Library of China. Today, I will mainly report from the following aspects. First, the collections overview in the National Library of China. Second, the unique collects in NLC. The third, tips for preservation and conservation. The fourth, several restoration projects. Finally, I will briefly introduce the challenge and opportunities in preservation and conservation. NLC's collections totaling more than 43 million videos and PS, and the number is increased by nearly 1 million each year. We have collections 90 million microfilms and awares of audio-video products. The total number of digital results exceeds 2,600 terabytes and is growing at a rate of 100 terabytes per year. The oldest collections are the inscriptions on animal bone and tortoise shells, which are excavated in ruins and can be traced back to 3,000 years ago. Dunhuang manuscripts are discovered accidentally in 1900 in Mogul grottoes and Dunhuang. NLC has a collection of 16,579 Dunhuang manuscripts, according to about a quarter of total surviving quantity. The Dunhuang manuscripts are important research documents for studying the society, history, language, and literature technical customs, book form, calligraphy art, and other aspects of China and Central Asia during the Middle Age. The Yongle Encyclopedia is the largest encyclopedia in ancient book in ancient China. It was compiled by Emperor Decree from the first year of Yongle reign in the Ming Dynasty to the sixth year, with a total of 22,877 volumes. It's hand-copied. The books are ground 35 centimeters long and 23 centimeters wide. The binding form is bank-pick. The complete library of 4 branches is the largest skills series of books compiled during the Qianlong period of Qing Dynasty. And the leaders of Emperor Qianlong of Qing Dynasty. It was compiled by more than 360 high-ranking officials and scholars, taking 13 years to compile, divided into 4 parts: classic, history, literature, and collections. The cover colors are green, red, white, or light blue, and green, black. The prevailing completed library of the 4 treasures is currently one of the 3.5 surviving complete library of 4 treasures, consisting of original book shelves and original book boxes. In order to better preserve literature and extend its lifespan, the environment of library and exhibition hall should be strictly controlled. The temperature range is controlled between 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is controlled between 45% and 9 to 60%. And the luminous in the literature is controlled below 50 lux. Actively carry out pest and mold prevention and control work, control harmful gases, street fire, and security measures, and develop disaster prevention plans. One of the 4 special collections of NLC is Chinese typing inscription. Its original stored in Guangshen Temple, Zhaocheng County, Shanxi Province during the anti-Japanese War. They were transferred and were handed to the National Peiping Library, now NLC. During the long-term storage in humid environment, Zhaocheng Tripitaka of the Jin Dynasty is damaged and molded. The paper is thick and hardened. If not repaired, it will not only be unreadable but also difficult to continue preservation. In order to protect them, the central government allocated special funds and professional restorers. After many years, the restoration work were completed. The concept of restoration, the old as it is established in this work, has become the basic principle for restoration of ancient book in the future. The largest scale restoration of Dunhuang manuscript by NLC began in March 1991 under the guide of aspects. We summarized the periods and lessons and developed the restoration plan. These ancient books are varying degree of damage. This is not conducive to long-term preservation, organization, and utilization, or urgently needs to be repaired. In 2002, the restoration and protection work of Yongle Encyclopedia were initiated. The project strictly adheres to the principle of keeping the old as old for restoration, such as preserving the original backpack and the burning marks. Library collections are protected from damage caused by warfare, insects, wood, and war. The life of the documentation largely depends on the performance of paper, which depends on raw materials and paper making process. After the carrying material of documentation has been fixed, the age degradation caused by paper acidification becomes the most important factor affecting the lifespans of the paper. The acidification is an important way and opportunity to rescue the documents. That's all I wanted to say today. Thanks for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Chen So. Okay, so let's look at some questions that people have sent through to us. I know, Chen So, I think your email address is going to be put into the chat. So if you have any specific questions you would like to ask Chen So, if you can send them directly, that would be fantastic.
Okay, you can give me an email. I'll put the question in the group.
Yes, put it in the chat and then people will be able to send your email directly. Now, I'm going to ask the people who are in the back end of this, will Pion and Udaya be appearing with us so I can ask some questions? Or perhaps I might just ask Pion myself. I was actually interested in how people actually contact you when they have documents that they would like you to look at or to help them conserve. Do you go out to visit them or do people contact you if they have material? Pion? You're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay, Tian.
Pardon?
Me.
Oh, I'm just asking Pion a question.
Few.
Okay, a few. Okay, Pion.
Can you tell me his question, please?
So how do people contact you directly when they have documents they might like preserved or for you to look at? Or do you actively go out and look at other people's collections? Just wondering whether they know how people contact you when they
Sorry.
want advice.
Again, please.
How do they, if people have material that they want you to look at or help them with, do they contact you or do you actively go out into the community looking for people that might need your help with their collections?
Yes, I go to there.
You go to them?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's lots of traveling.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And do they happily pass them over to you, or do you give them advice for them?
Give us easily. You
Do you then take the material away or help them look after it in their own library?
They don't get to choose easily.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Get to act easily.
They do. They're happy to give them over to your care. Okay. They must trust you. Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Udaya, that black box was amazing. So how many of those black boxes have you created?
So we got the patent in 2023. We have actually we have created several boxes for some libraries. So I presented a paper in 2023. I got the message from Yale University. They are going a project in the Nigeria. So I gave all the details to prepare this box for Nigeria. At the present, we have not much boxes, but if library request, we will prepare the box and give them a concession rate, or sometimes for the temples we provide a free of charge.
That's just a fantastic, such a simple solution for some areas that wouldn't have the technical ability to address some of those issues.
Yes, but this box works only the very hot areas. For in
Yes.
Sri Lanka, we have different climatic zones, especially in the dry area. This box works well. So we get the orders from that, especially that area.
Okay. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay. Now, there's a question about preservation in the Q&A. Let me have a look and see. I can't see the question there answered. Okay, I have one other question, and I'm just trying to. You talked about a particular oil. Was it rain oil you use? What's that made of?
It is made of a kind of a tree resin. The tree is hull tree. So local name is hull. The tree extract the resin. So we got the resin, and we have a separate distillation unit at the National Library. So we research we conducted research to create this unit for more than 2 years with the assistance of Industrial Cultural Institute of the National Library of Sri Lanka, in collaboration collaboration with this institution. National Library constructed this distillation machine, and we distillate that oil. So, and we tested this oil against bacteria and the fungi and insects. So the scientific research confirmed this oil has good properties against fungus growing the palm leaf manuscript, and also the bacteria, and it has insect repellent properties. So when we apply this oil on the palm leaf manuscript, insects never come attract to the palm leaf manuscript. They go away from the manuscript.
And it was based on an ancient recipe, an older recipe,
yeah.
Is that right?
Yes, actually it is based on the ancient recipe. We got the ancient recipe from a secret way, and actually it is not the ancient recipe, but we got something from the ancient recipe, and we add some new things also.
Yes.
This
yeah.
It's actually not the ancient one, but include some new things also. It's a hybrid one.
That would have been a fantastic a fantastic bit of detective work to think the different ingredients that you can put together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, I cannot see any more questions in the Q&A. So I think I might say thank you very much to Dr. Udaya, Pion.
There's another question in the Q&A section.
Is
Udaya,
oh.
does the National Library of Sri Lanka use these?
It's in the chat. That's what's confused me. Yes. Does the National Library of Sri Lanka use these boxes itself, or is the library air conditioned?
Yeah, in the National Library, we have the air conditioned system. We control humidity and the temperature 24 hours. The National Library levels we have, but this box is developed for rural libraries, rural public libraries, which are in the rural areas. They don't have AC and the humidification machines. So we use, we control air environment conditions at the National Library at the present. But this is only for the public libraries, especially rural areas.
And actually, I've just got one more question here, perhaps for you or Pion. Do you have any help from private companies, your conservation work, or is it just from the state government institutions? Do you have any help from private companies?
For Sri Lanka, actually, there are no such a private companies for working on the conservation preservation. We have only the government institution.
Okay, okay. And Pion, do you have just government or do you have help from companies, private companies?
Yes, yes, we already get help from private companies.
You do. And do you think, and if we went onto your library website, would we be able to see who those private companies are? Yeah, we might have a look on your website.
Then please.
And I was just saying, what are the what sort of companies are helping provide funds? Do you have particular names or a number of groups that contribute to your funding?
Palliative Society.
Yes.
In 2019.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Thanks very much, Pion. Okay. So I don't think there is any more questions. I might just finish up by the session by thanking the Pion A, from the National Library of Myanmar, Dr. Udaya Gabral from the National Library of Sri Lanka, and Tien So Ling from the National Library of China. That was fascinating, but also thank you for the team behind this webinar, Gulchen Krib, who's member of the IFLA Asia Oceania Regional Division, Nicholas Sparks, who's a committee member of IFLA Rare Books and Special Collections Standing Committee, and Simon Farley, who's the president of the Bibliographic Society of Australia and New Zealand. So thank you all of the speakers today, and thank you for all of those who've listened and made such lovely comments in the chat as well. So hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you.